Hey guys, Castle here. I just wanted to make a video of how to complete the Jailer's Gauntlet Layer 8 as a solo Holy Priest. Now, the biggest thing with the Gauntlet, especially on Layer 8, these early weeks when we're under-geared, is to get the right power combinations early and to be able to get through floor 1. Floor 1 will be by far your hardest floor just because you're getting the build that you want throughout. So if you die or don't get the right powers right away, don't feel too bad. You can always just reset. Lots of my runs I ran in, and the initial 3 powers I got were not what I wanted, so I just immediately turned around, exited, and then logged back in and just got a new set of powers. The main power that we want is called Inversion Prism, which you'll see coming up here. Inversion Prism takes 30% of your heals and pushes as damage on nearby enemies. So you can see it right there. Heals deal 30% of damage. So that'll be your main damage for this build. It's very, very strong. As you can see, I also took the Fade Leaves a Copy, which is really nice for floor 1 if you can get it, because it kind of can take the pressure off you when you have a bunch of mobs attacking. You kind of want to build up your stacks before you game, but it's not the worst thing. So for this, I'm running the standard Mythic Plus setup. I have Dom Shards in, Flash Concentration, and then just standard Mythic Plus talents, except I run Psychic Voice just in cause to get a little bit more CC. Here, the first 2 mobs, you just dive in and kill them. I got another Inversion Prism, so now I have 3 of them, which is the most you can get for a run. So it's looking very good right off the start. Once I kill off those first 2 in this guy, I'm kind of just, killing them through my heal cast, taking it a little bit slow. So that Dead Soul Chorus puts a debuff on you that reduces the healing you do. So that's very bad for this build. So you want to kill him as fast as you can. If you die on floor 1, it is not the world's biggest deal. You have 5 deaths total. So as long as you're chipping away, it's a good thing. So because I died there, I kind of just reset and kind of look around and see all the mobs I have and who I want to kill off first. I want to get that power too, just because I want as much things to help me get through as I can. So I got lucky and got the Elysium weights, which makes it so your strength, agility, stamina, and intellect are increased, but you can no longer jump. This is very, very strong early game. Because all your damage is focused into how much you can heal, as much intellect as you can get is really going to help you out. There is no time limit on this, so you could wait until all of your cooldowns are back every time you die. Sometimes they reset, sometimes they don't. I haven't really figured out what's the cause of, when your cooldowns are going to reset. So if you wanted to play it safe, you could always just wait out, extra 30 seconds. So here, I just pop PI. I'm just spamming heal as much as I can and trying to get those 2 ads dead as quick as I can. I get a good fear off here, especially on that chorus. And then it's still just the same thing, just blasting as much heal cast as you can. So you can see this first floor is very difficult. There's a lot of stuff going on. You just want to get them, kind of whittle away and pick at all of the mobs you can and hope that you can survive long enough. So you can see here, I die a second time, but I got a lot of mobs dead, so I'm feeling pretty happy at this point. And you can repair every time, just make sure your gear doesn't get broken. And now I really want that chorus dead because he's the one that was really screwing up both those last pulls, just putting that healing debuff on me. So here I just pop Boon and try to put as much damage as I can into him. Now that that chorus is dead, I feel a lot safer. There's still a little bit of CC, but this combination of bosses really isn't that bad to deal with. You can see I popped PI and Guardian Spirit as well just to get him down. And with this build, Serenity becomes your biggest DPS button. So if you can get it back and just mash it, you'll see some big damage come out and kill off a lot of mobs real quick. You can see there I was a little bit slow trying to get out and got greedy and cost me another life. So now I'm down to only 2 deaths left. But I only have these mobs left, so I'm doing really good at this point. So I build up my flash concentration stacks, pop PI and GS, and I'm just trying to nuke down this 3-pack as fast as I can. You can see I Serenity there and it just did a bunch of damage. You can pop Apotheosis and get another Serenity and reset it, which I think I do right after the Sphere. Actually, no, I didn't there. You can see there I popped it again, got another one, and killed off that guy. And then the only guy left is the Archoppressor Leguis, which he's really not that dangerous, just does some casting damage. So as you can see, I died a bunch of times there on floor 1, but I still have 2 deaths left. So that's really good because I got all 3 inversion prisms and just getting a lot better powers to help me out. So the increased power infusion is really good because you pop that to as long with your Guardian Spirit just to blast as many heal casts as you can. These powers, neither of them are really great, doesn't matter. Same thing with this one, didn't really care too much, so I just picked whatever. And then there, I got another power infusion of 10 seconds, which again, just gonna be great. And then the increased critical damage and healing is actually really good because it makes, bigger heal crits, which can just help everyone die faster. Light of the Naru is a fairly decent talent. Most of those purple powers are okay, but for this build, you're pretty much all based off Inversion Prism and surviving. So here, I just buy more health, I buy the 5 animal cell, and then just buy more crit. Here, that Cloud of Obscuring Mist is actually really good for this build because it pushes all the mobs to come close enough so that your heal cast will actually damage them. And really helps just kind of rein in all the casters that are around. So here, all the big mobs come out. I just pop Power Infusion, GS. I see that chorus, but I'm powerful enough that I'm just going to blast and try to kill them off as fast as I can, which I do. So you can see like the difference from floor 1 to floor 2 is now I'm just flying through all of these mobs as fast as I can. The only thing you have to really worry about right now is getting CC comboed. But you can see here I got gripped in and then feared. So here they're really low and I just get a little bit greedy. I end up killing off, a bunch of good mobs, but I then get hooked in there and then get knocked back. And then the other mobs come out. So you can see I have a bunch of powers, but I'm just not feeling confident enough to go get them yet. So there, I was slowed. I couldn't get out of the crush, and I died. So down to 1 death allowed left. But you can see I have a bunch of powers, and most of the mobs are down, so it's doing pretty good. So one thing to remember definitely is like there is no time limit. So right here, I felt like I needed to just get up, get a drink, take a walk around. I knew I could finish it from here on out as long as I got through these mobs. So don't be afraid to take your time to get up, to stretch, go to the bathroom, get a drink, do whatever. You have as much time as you need as long as you don't go AFK and get kicked out of Torghast. You can see I sat here for quite a while, ended up talking to my wife and my daughter, and then coming back to finish it. Let's see, we're back. And I'm just going to go pick as much powers as I can. More health is always good because it just helps survive. The more reduced magic damage is good, but I just want a longer power infusion. Versatility, always great. Just building up flash concentration stacks just in case I aggro this guy trying to get these powers. Frozen Fury is okay, but not that great. So you can see I take the Enchanted Shroud just for more survivability. Make sure my stacks are reset, go in, PI, Guardian Spirit, and just blast as fast as I can. You can see just how much damage Serenity does during this build. And just like that, floor 2 is done. That Words of Incomprehensible, go back to it. So that power that I'm going to pick up, it stuns when you do holy damage. This is actually really good with this build because the Invergent Prism is holy damage, so it can actually really help with your survivability and just making sure mobs aren't hitting you. By this point, I'm really strong anyways, so it probably wouldn't make or break it, but if you can get it, it's always a good one to take. With these powers, I just go for reduced casting speed, doesn't really matter. And this one, I just do the shadow damage pushback just because I'm taking damage anyways and standing in one spot. I might as well just have a little bit of it redirected back. None of those really matter. I just picked the Steward one. You never want to take the increase to boon that but you can't move. There's so much stuff to dodge that you'll just die if you take that one. So again here, I just take more health, the cheap Anima Cell, and then more crit. Neither of these are really working. I end up taking Cruelty Sensor just because if the target gets dazed from the power we took previous that can daze with holy damage, it's just a little bit extra damage, but like I said, it's not going to make or break it. So one of the funny things here is one of the powers I took made it so I couldn't jump, so I couldn't dodge that, but thankfully I have enough health and defensives that it didn't really matter. So again, PI, Guardian Spirit, and Blast. And you just keep blasting as hard and as fast as you can and killing them all off. As you get through these floors, you just get stronger and stronger. You can see, floor 2 took a lot faster than floor 1, and floor 3 was a lot faster than even floor 2. So there, I just take more haste, faster cast, always good. Neither of those really matter. Same with these ones. I said I'm just getting more and more powerful, so it doesn't really matter. More crit, which is always good. So that horrific dictionary, that's actually one of the best powers you can get. So let's see if I can go back just a little. So each different word spell that your cast increases your intellect by 10% for 5 minutes. So with this build for Holy Priest, you can get 8 stacks. So you can get 80% increase intellect. And like I said earlier, is that this whole build goes around how much intellect you can get and how much bigger your heal casts can get. So if you can get these, especially early, they will really, really help out your run and kind of help carry you through. This one I end up always taking more health just because the only thing I'm worried about is getting CC chained and dying. Neither of these powers are very great, don't really care. Again, more health, always good. And then this one doesn't really matter. End up taking the power infusion one. The Scales of Trauma can be good early on to kind of help burst down some of the bigger mobs, but by the time I get it here, I'm not even wasting a cast on Holy Fire. I'm just going in and blasting with Heal and Serenity and just all the healing CDs I have. So Endearing Spirit, really great. Gives you a longer Guardian Spirit, which is awesome. And then cheap Animacell, and then just more verse, just to kind of use up all the stuff that I got. Again, I just pick Hurley Sensor. It isn't really worth anything, so. You can see how I'm just getting more and more powerful. PI, Guardian Spirit, and just everything's dying, and I don't even really have to move. I could stand in the green as if I wanted. So there I popped Apotheosis just as a DPS cooldown, really, just to get another Serenity cast back and burst down as many mobs as I can. But you can just see just how powerful I'm getting here on floor 4. That guy's kind of being annoying running out there. And I got more health, which is always good. I'm over 200k health now, so I'm feeling really good. And then again, more health. More health is always going to be your friend. I contemplate taking the immune and silence one, but I haven't been getting silenced or interrupt, so I end up going more health. None of these really matter. None of them are going to help me that much, so I just get mastery. Here I'm kind of torn, but I end up going with health again over crit. And then here, none of them are going to be groundbreaking, so I just take that one. But going into floor 5, we're pretty much well set with our build. I get another Enduring Spirit, which is great. And then the typical cheap Animacell, and then whatever Oberon armaments I can get, which this one was increased critical strike and healing. Got unlucky again, just increased mastery, which I don't really care about, but it is what it is. So that Warden Scoldus can actually be pretty dangerous. His charge does a lot of damage. Here I get rooted in there. I end up getting a fear off to save it, and then kind of just Serenity to kill him off. To otherwise it would have been a pretty bad hit and might have died. Here I get feared, but all the mobs are pretty much dead at that point, and I have enough health that it wasn't too much of a worry. Again, neither of those powers mattered. Same thing with those. And then same with those. None of those powers I really use at all with this build. There I get another increase of power infusion, which is great. And then that one doesn't really matter. So the main thing now is just to damage as much as you can and just don't get caught in any of the things that'll one-shot you. I have enough health that it probably wouldn't be too big of a problem, but just want to be safe anyways. So because I have the mist where they can't target me until they're inside of it and these mobs can't move, I just stand here killing them off and they don't cast the balls that'll go across the room. I'm not too really worried at this point. There's only one main mob left, so as long as I don't make a mistake, we're good. So he ended up casting it again. I thought about just trying to burn him down without worrying about those guys, but I just noticed it wasn't going to take too long, so I just ended up killing him off again. I get a little impatient, so I just run in close to each one and just do a heal cast of some kind just to kill him off. You want to make sure you're not in front of them if that cast goes off, because they'll shoot out 3 balls and they'll hit you all at the same time if you're in front and kill you. And now floor 5 is done. Getting more health, as much survivability, and haste is always good. And get another powered fort. With this build, the fear power doesn't really matter that much because you're just going to be standing in one spot and just blasting as much of the heals as you can and doing a lot more DPS than you could from fearing mobs, because it only hits a certain number of mobs, won't hit them all, and it's only for a shorter period of time. I get another Endearing Spirit, cheap Anima Cell, more versatility. Always great. Neither of those powers really mattered, so I just took the new creature, heal you. So now my PI lasts for 60 seconds and my Guardian Spirit lasts for 40. So I just pop them right off the bat going in and just stand there burning down them all. Just like that, floor 6 is done. So there I get another horrific dictionary. That's great. Flashbox can be pretty good. It's not the biggest thing. More health is always good. Neither of those really matter. Here I'm torn if I want the increased critical damage or the 10 remnants. I ended up getting that, and then I end up getting it again. And then I get another horrific dictionary. So I now have 3 of them, so my intellect is through the roof. Which will just make sure that these last 2 floors go even faster than any of the other ones. Again, none of these powers really matter. So I get another Endearing Spirits. Now both my Power Infusion and my Guardian Spirit are going to be going for 60 seconds, which is great. Here I end up taking the increased critical damage just because it was a 3 stack of them, so it's kind of hard to turn down at that point. And I already have over 400k health, so I'm not too worried about it. At this point in the run, I could pick up no powers and still just destroy these last 2 floors. You can see for that floor I did 860k DPS, which is nuts. Here I'm just quickly picking whatever one looks the best. Doesn't really matter at this point. More remnants. Those remnants give you intellect, so just grab them. You can see my Power Infusion and Guardian Spirit are still up at this point. That's how fast that all these mobs are dying around me. And we're on to floor 8, the final one. I end up buying stuff. I end up getting another Enduring Spirit, which is great. And more critical healing damage. I ended up being able to get another Anima Cell. Figured might as well. It's the last floor. Nothing good from either of them, though. Those are pretty much just a gamble if you're going to get the powers you want, or if they're going to be total trash like I've gotten most of the times. So here on the final floor, I just run straight in, pop PI, pop Guardian Spirit, and I am just spamming my heart out. And the mobs are just melting around me. And just like that, layer 8 is complete. I didn't get the achievement this run because I had already gotten it earlier, but I did it without recording, so I went back in just to make this video. Hope this guide could kind of help you and show you what I did to complete it. At this, early level, I'm roughly 30 eye levels below recommended. So hop in and good luck.